Hello, everyone. It's Robin and Athena in Truth and Heidi back again with another program. This one we would like to discuss today is about mastering or how to become a master in your own life. Welcome, Robin. Welcome, Athena.
Uh, Good day, Heidi.
Good day. So this is an exciting topic because who wouldn't want to be a master? And being a master of your own life is probably the best master anyone could be. So why don't you get us started on letting our audience know, what does it mean to be a master?
We would tell you that a lot of humans are a little bit confused at the idea of becoming a master. They have been led to believe that being a master is someone that is maybe in complete control of themselves and has no feelings negative at all. And we would tell you that a master feels everything. A master has full awareness of both positive and negative feelings. And what he has that is a little bit different is he perseveres. He keeps going no matter what it is that he encounters. He is never going to fall prey to being a victim. That is the only difference really between self-mastery and victimization, is that the victim decides to throw up their hands and quit as though that they have no control over it. And a master knows he does. He keeps going, you see. But does he never experience negativity? That is not true. Of course, he will experience doubt. He will experience the feeling of shame, of embarrassment, of all of the emotions that anyone else feels. But he lets them blow right through that screen door, you see. He doesn't stay in them. He knows that he is an experiencer. He knows that he is going to have these feelings. He understands it. He feels them fully. He's going to milk them or use them for every bit of creative value that they have by not hanging on to them, by knowing that he has become more because he has now experienced the exact opposite of what he is wanting. And he knows that all that is has expanded because of this feeling that he has gone through. And so this is what the difference is, or the idea of what self-mastery is.
Yes, yes. So there's an awareness at all times about everywhere we feel. Um, so basically, to be a master, we cannot let anything get by us, right? That we need to be at all times knowing and being aware of our thoughts, good or bad.
You need to know when you become the human, the tool. We've talked about this before. When you have somehow become the experience, it's very difficult to hold yourself in this place of observation, let's use that term, where you are actually observing yourself as a human, living a life and having experiences, and you're doing it as though there are two of you. You are recognizing from your high self, from your God source, that this human is having these feelings, these experiences, and you are right there with it, yes? And you are, all of these experiences, whether they are positive or negative, they are negative, they are being transmuted into positive, and you know this, yes? And so when the human becomes unconscious, or they start to live in a way that they become their story, certainly all of you have watched a movie and become so involved in it, before you know it, you are crying, you are emoting to the movie as though it is your life, you see. This is a sign or a signal that you are now becoming part of that show. You are becoming emotionally invested. And while we're on the topic, we would tell you it's something to look out for, even in your TV, because this is creative value. When you are feeling emotion because of what it is you are viewing, you are now creating or adding this to your universe, you see. And many humans are not aware of what it is that they are feeding themselves on their news, on their television, or radios, or whatever it is they are listening to. But it does have an impact upon you, and it is being recorded, and it is added to your universe. We don't care what it is. So we just wanted to throw that in along with that, Heidi, and then we can continue on from here.
Okay. All right. So obviously we know the background of, watching your thoughts, trying to be aware of everything. But what's a good way for someone to get started? Because we do, as humans, live so unconsciously a lot of the time, and it's a hard habit to get out of. So what would you use as a starting point for people to achieve mastery?
We would tell you that any human that wants to lose a little bit of weight, they know that there's like this 21-day period where they start doing all the right things. And before you know it, they start doing the right things without even thinking about it. And we would tell you that to some degree, That's kind of about the right amount of time, that if you were able to apply your focus or your intent to this for this length of time, that you would automatically start to do this, and it would start to be something that was an automatic response to you. It would not be natural for you to not do it. You have fallen into this problem where you become the movie. We did a little podcast today. Perhaps you had listened to it, Heidi, and we talked a little bit about when people are manifesting. It is a little bit like a dog, an owner, yes, that
Hmm.
when the owner takes the dog out hunting, perhaps they're going to go hunting for a fox, and he gives them a little bit of a sniff of the fox, what it is they're going to be looking for. And then the dog knows exactly, it launches the desire and it goes out into the woods, and it is going like mad with its nose to try to catch up with the scent that smells like what the owner gave to them, what he told him to look for. Yes. And
Hmm.
so as the dog does this, all of a sudden something comes along and his attention gets piqued. Perhaps it is the smell of another animal like a deer or a bear or another dog or whatever it is that crosses his path. And before you know it, it breaks the scent. And now he is on that. Now he is going after that scent, and he has lost track of his scent that he originally went out to hunt for, you see. And so what does the owner have to do? Well, the owner has to get a hold of that dog and rescent it. He has to give it the smell again of that fox and get it back on the trail. Otherwise, it will
Yeah.
be aimlessly running after anything that it comes in contact of the stink of, you see. And humans were using this terminology for you to make you understand that this is the way a lot of humans live their lives. They launch a pretty good desire. They have a pretty good idea of what it is they are wanting. We get it out here. We see, wow, that's going to be great when it manifests. And then all of a sudden, something happens. Somebody hangs up the phone on them. Their kid gets mad at them. Their car breaks down, whatever it is. And then they lose track of that scent. They lose track of that good feeling that they had, that they launched that desire in. And now they're on to something else. And so what we are telling you is that you need to use your source, your connection, your high self to help you get back on the scent. You have to know when you are veering off of that important trail that you have been put on that was making you feel good. And then you have to take a sniff or get yourself back into that good feeling place again. And you cannot be like a ping pong that is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this is where humans would tell us, well, when am I going to get that thing that I've been asking for? And we would say, when are you going to stand still long enough for it to reach you? How long have you held the feeling before you have left it and gone on another tangent in another direction? And this is the problem with so many humans. They are not realizing when they are doing it. And so we would tell you that the best thing that you can do is to train yourself, just like you would go on a diet. You're going to train yourself to eat better, to exercise. And you know in the beginning it's going to be difficult. So you have written out a plan. Perhaps you have a certain diet you're going to follow. Perhaps you're going to have someone that you're going to call that's going to keep you on track. There has to be some way that you're kept accountable so that you can keep on that scent of what it is that you're set out to do. And we would tell you that this is something that should be as important to you as your weight, as anything else, as the money that you earn, that your creation and the way that you create is something that you can remain focused upon. You can get the assistance of others. You can set up a plan. You can write it down so you read it every morning. Do something so that you can make this stick.
Yes. That's good advice. I was trying to come up with an analogy of, you know, we were saying a master never lets a thought pass that they're not aware or consciously of. And what came to mind, and I don't know if this is the best analogy, but maybe you could help us elaborate a little bit more. I was thinking of in terms of like a physical pain response. There are people who have injuries and say it's their knee, and every day the knee hurts, and they're focused on that over and over and over, and pretty soon it becomes unconscious. It's just their knee always hurts
Mhm.
until the day that they stub their toe,
Mhm.
and they're in so much pain from stubbing their toe that they forgot their knee ever hurt, and
Yes.
now their attention is on the new injury. And I thought that was a good kind of, I guess I thought of it as a good analogy because it shows how in a physical pain situation you can shift your focus so quickly that you don't even notice something that's been bothering you for so long.
Yes.
And it's the same, right, with monitoring your thoughts. If you're aware and conscious of them, you can switch that focus instantly without having to have the physical pain issue.
Yes.
Mm.
We would tell you in regard to pain, it is more of a lower vibratory level emanation or expression.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use that form
Yeah.
of your energy system. And so when one has this pain, this lowered vibration, it's very difficult to pull out of it. So it's not just a matter of feeling it, it's actually a state or a level, let's use that term, of resonance or vibration that you are stuck in or emanating from, you see.
Yeah.
And so now when you have something even worse happen, yes, even
Yeah.
more negative, it gets your attention. But it takes a huge amount of positivity or something in the other direction to shift your energy field out of that pain feeling source or center that you are focused on. It is not an easy task to do. But we would use this other little example, and it is a lighter one, but it still will give you the feel or the idea of how these things can be done. Robin belonged to this little company that would send you some clothing once a month that you sign up for. I believe it was Stitch Fix or something. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so something delivered. It was very nice. Something kind of to her liking, and she kept it. It was a little printed jacket, and it had some gold and some green and different colors. But then as she kept it at home, she realized she didn't have anything to wear under it, you see. And she was going a couple of places with her husband, and every store she went into, she started to look for something, that color to wear under that jacket, you see. And she just couldn't find it. And she started to get a little bit frustrated by it. And then finally, one day she came home and thought, I'm just not going to worry about it. Yes, it doesn't really matter. I like the jacket. Sometime she gave up the resistance. Sometime something will show up. And lo and behold, in the afternoon, the second Stitch Fix box arrived and placed on the very top. The first item that she opened was the perfect undergarment for the jacket that she was searching for, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would tell you that the amount of resistance that a person holds in regard to something that they are wanting is really what separates them from it. And as she decided to just get into loving the jacket, it was a nice purchase. She liked it. Yes, sooner or later she would find something. Then lo and behold, it just showed up on her doorstep. Humans don't realize how easy manifestation could be. And when one is in pain, they have no concept of that ease. They lose that belief. They lose that feeling that we have just tried to convey to you of how they can view themselves in a lighter, more permissive way, so that this pain could dissipate or could move from the energy field that they are held in.
Yes. Yep. That's a good
She feels
example.
so strongly about it. I see it, I feel it, I have it. It's affecting me. I can't do what I normally do. It's repetitive thoughts over and over and over again. But we would tell you the top wasn't a repetitive thought. It was just a thought, would be nice. And then it was released, you see. And this is what you need to do with your pain. You need to not focus on it. You need to release it. You need to not dwell upon it, talk about it, phone everybody and tell them about it.
Yeah. And that's a tough one for a lot of people. It seems like that type of material everybody wants to talk about.
What's kind of funny about pain, because this one, Robin, has had a lot of it in her lifetime. She has suffered a number of injuries and back pain and such, you see. And she said, but the funniest thing happened to her. She stopped talking about her pain. She stopped mentioning about things that were hurting when they were hurting. And then one day she realized she was hurting, but she wasn't noticing it or feeling it or even sensing it, you see. And so she realized pain is illusionary. Pain is something I'm agreeing to. As you
Yeah.
decide to not agree to it, as you decide to not acknowledge it or share it, doesn't have the impact over you it once did.
Right. Yeah. And even like I would use the example of you're in pain. Some people will stop doing something they love because of the pain. And I'm kind of the opposite of that. Like, as long as I don't have something physically keeping me down, I'll fight through the pain and go do something I love. And then all of a sudden you forget about the pain.
Yeah.
It's not a factor anymore.
And it's all about feeling. It is provided how you are feeling when you are doing it. Would you feel worse sitting at home doing nothing? Or would you feel better to go out and pursue what it is you want to do and put up with a little ache and pain or whatever it is you are experiencing? And for you,
Right.
you have made a clear decision that this is what makes you feel better. Life is all about balance. Everything's about balance. You
Yeah.
have to weigh everything out. We have talked about this with vaccines. We've talked about it with differing opinions that you're going to have with people. You have to make a decision, and then you have to weigh out that decision of which one is creating less of a negative response in you than the other. And this is the one you are to go with.
Yes. Yes. So can you give us an explanation of what it means to manipulate form. Like that's another thing that a master is capable of. Can you give us some information on that?
Hmm. One has to know that as they are focused upon things, as they are emoting about things, you are beginning to form possibilities in your life. And then as these possibilities start to form by the things you have been picking and choosing to focus upon, now the ones that you are really focused upon, you will start to create more and more thoughts and feelings that will
Mhm.
start coming to you. And now what is happening is it is starting, yes, it is starting to formulate, let's say that. It is becoming a probability. What is a probability? A probability is something that you have focused on to the extent or degree that now thoughts are just coming automatically. Now you are focused upon it without even trying to focus upon it. It is things are starting to show up or formulate that are supporting this thing that you are wanting to create, you see. And this is how a master starts to manipulate form, because they start to recognize the process. They start to actually be the creator with intent. They start to think, I'm going to start thinking about this thing. And then I'm going to wait till I get more thoughts about it, because then I know it's
Yeah.
probably going to happen. And then when I start to notice that I don't even have to think about it, that it's just coming to me, that things are starting to show up in support of it, now I know it is definitely coming. Now I feel this, it is a probability, it is just a matter of time. And so they work with it. They form, and they keep, in the beginning, they are picking, they are choosing, they are influencing their emotions, they are causing emotion to move in a direction that is going to formulate what it is they are wanting in a solid form to them. They have knowledge of this, understanding of it, and they know how it feels along the way. They know when they are reaching the point where it is about to manifest. They get the feeling that the probability has become so strong that they can taste it, they can smell it, and it is being reflected through other people. They are seeing signs of it in the universe, and they know that they have about created it, you see.
Mm, okay. Yeah, that's an exciting place to be.
Yeah.
I would like to be in that that place.
We have told humans as a funny little game, yes,
Uh-huh.
pick something. It can be something really silly, Heidi. It can be a certain car brand. It can be a certain color top, whatever it is you want to, and then think about it. Just show it to yourself. Yes, think about that top and that peach color. Just think about it, think about it, think about it every day. Yes, feel really good when you do it, and then watch. All of a sudden, pretty soon, people will be walking by wearing peach. It'll be a probability. Now it is coming into your view. You're starting to see it on other people. You're starting to get the sign from the universe. We hear you. See it? Yes. And so you can prove this to yourself if you would do it this way. And we would highly recommend that humans take these simple little things. It's kind of like what Robin did with that top that she wanted underneath that jacket. But when you prove it to yourself with the little things, then you realize that, just as we told you in a previous recording, that there are no little gratitudes or little appreciations, that the feeling is the feeling. And so if you can create the feeling that I created, a peach top, just by thinking about it, now you can create anything.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good way to get somebody's belief in something up is to
Yes.
practice with the
We would
small
tell
stuff.
you that this is a great practice, and we would recommend that you do it, and do it a lot. Prove it to yourself with these little things that don't matter, and then pretty soon you'll have enough belief that you can do this with something magnificent, something big that you never thought that you could do. People don't realize that first you have to perceive, then you have to believe,
Yeah.
and now you will receive, you see.
Yeah.
And so if you can believe and start to perceive and look at what it is you are injecting thoughts into, you're injecting them, you're doing it, you're putting those out on purpose. And
Yeah.
then you start to see the result of that by the people wearing just that color, just that kind of top that you envisioned. And
Yep.
now you think, the universe got my message. It's giving me a sign or signal. I'm seeing it. And now you really believe it, because now you have it in your sight. Now
Yeah.
more senses are stimulated. Now it's just not a thought anymore. Now it is in the sight, and it's in your view, you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're
I
wearing it.
Yes. And this is a real silly one. But a while back, I kind of like the numbers 1111. I also like sevens, but for some reason, I love those numbers. And I started seeing the combinations of the ones. And I kept acknowledging it and, oh, I wonder when, I'm going to see more ones. And pretty soon it was in every area of my life. It was on my cell phone. I'd look at 1111 or 111 or on the clock, or I would go on to a site and there'd be 111 of these items, or something would be $1.11. And it's really funny because my thoughts were just on something as simple as that number, how much it came into my experience. So
Yes.
using it as a manifesting tool, using that same philosophy would be very, very powerful.
Did you ever believe that you had done it?
I mean, I think after a while, I would just kind of chuckle to myself, and think, the more I thought about it, the more it created the sight of it in my experience. Yes.
We have said to humans before, of course, you cannot believe that you would live in a $20 million house tomorrow and have the
Yeah.
money to support it. It would be too big of a leap. It would be more than you could believe. But we also will say, if you could, you see.
Right.
But we like the idea of this tool that we are telling you to use.
Yeah.
Perhaps you start doing it with a certain color top. Perhaps you did it with 111. But we
Yeah.
would like you to keep upping the ante. We would like you to keep adding new things and keep proving to yourself that you are the creator. You are doing it. We would like you to keep adding the thoughts, waiting for the universe to show it to you, start seeing it around you, and then know that it is coming to you. And then to really believe that you are the former, you are the creator of form, you see, through the thoughts and feelings and expressions that you are having. And if you can do it in this way, you can gradually, incrementally, you can expand your belief system or what it is that you believe in that you can manifest. Now, believing in a peach top doesn't take a whole lot, but now maybe next week it's a very expensive camera, or it's something that would a remodel, or perhaps it is something, yes, that is still a bit of a reach, but it is not so far that you cannot believe in it. You see, it's incremental.
Yes. Yes. So I'm going to use a little something that, um, you guys had sent to me previously, to kind of explain what my next question is. Basically, we know masters are able to hold their focus. They're able to hold their focus on what it is they want, and for a long enough period of time to bring that into their experience. And something you said that really resonated was, um, that a lot of people, they can't hold, they don't hold their focus like a master would. They let everything that crosses their path become their master.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you could give a little explanation
Mhm.
for that.
We would like to state first and foremost, you are all masters.
Hmm.
Every one of you are masters. But from time to time, you decide to be a human
Hmm.
and forget about the master, you see.
Yeah.
And so having that understanding or recognition that you are a master and that you can bring into form whatever you want to bring into form, how does that new view feel to you?
Feels good.
Yes. You thought the master was something above you, something outside of you, something that you had to strive for, something that you had to try to obtain, something that you had to hope that you'd be good enough to be one.
Hmm.
How does it feel to know that none of those are true? That you are enough, you are a master, you are good enough, you are high enough, just as you are.
Hmm.
But it is in your forgetfulness, in your becoming, your experience that causes the separation. And that is really the difference between victimization and mastery.
Hmm.
You see,
Yeah.
we went on a little bit of a rant there. Did we waver from our point or topic?
Well, I was just saying that sometimes, a master keeps their focus on what they want, and somebody who's not a master lets their focus be taken off path, and someone
Yes,
else becomes the
they
master.
become the result of their experience
Yeah.
instead of the one that is driving the experience through their emoting and the way that they
Hmm.
are choosing to feel. See,
Yes. Yes.
you're never going to lie to a human and say that there aren't painful experiences, that there won't be challenges, that there won't be things that will occur upon the earth plane that are difficult. We're never going to say that that is not true or that is going to stop. But contrast is what calls to you for something better. It is what expands. And without contrast, there would be no expansion. There would be nothing that you could want for
Yep.
if there were not the lack of it or the desire of it. Let's use
Mm-hmm.
that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the contrast is a needed element for expansion, but it is not needed for you to stay in contrast in order to get the expansion. You have to leave it. No, you use it as a tool. Your human tool uses it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you leave it, because once you have used the contrast, it has served its purpose, and you
Right.
have already risen to the greater part of the experience. Now all you need to do is let go of it.
Right. And I think another thing that a master does well is if they do lose focus, they're able to refocus themselves to the feeling that launched, like connected them or launched the desire they want to achieve.
The best thing that a master does, that someone would do if they are in mastery, let's say that,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
is they realize their sovereignty. They
Yeah.
realize that they are the ones that create their experiences, and they very quickly learn to let others do same. They move out of the idea that they have to make everybody be like them, do like them, see like them. They allow everyone to have their own sovereign view. This is where humans get a lot of resistance from. They have this idea that their idea is the idea that everyone should have. And as they do this, they try to deny another one their sovereignty, and this one's going to kick up their heels because they are sovereign. They are never giving it up. It is what you
Right.
came here with, you see. So they think they're going to change the other one over to their way of thinking. It is how your wars are going. Not very well, you see.
Mhm.
Everybody has an idea of
Right.
how something should be. But we would tell you that one of the most important elements of achieving mastery is to let go of all of that, to let go of right and wrong. It's not easy as a human because you are seeing, you are feeling, you are viewing things that you have an opinion about. But you have to realize that your opinion matters. It's in your universe. You're contributing your opinion to all that is, but you are never going to change another's opinion. But when you try to, now you're giving up your own.
Mhm.
See, because you are in conflict.
Yeah.
And when you are in conflict, you're not going to receive your expansion because
Mhm.
you are still in the contrast. Expansion comes when you are out of the contrast.
Mhm. When you look at people that we would call masters in, specific areas of life, like professional athletes or actors and actresses or anyone that we would consider a master in their field, we never consider them perfect. We never consider that they never make a mistake. There are times they lose games or they blow an acting role or whatever the case
Yeah.
might be. And we still don't look at them and say, okay, now you're not a master anymore, because they are most of the time doing it very well and not beating themselves up too badly when they don't. And that's a very good example, I think, of if you can see these people in your life doing these things as masters, you can apply that same philosophy to yourself
Yes.
and not beat
The
yourself up when you.
master perseveres. The
Yes.
master keeps going. The master never decides he can't have what he wants. Now, he doubts sometimes. He
Mhm.
might have some fear sometimes. But the idea that he keeps going is sending the sign or signal to the universe that he really believes differently, that he's having a human feeling of fear, of doubt, but his actions, the universe perceives that as one who is going to receive,
Mhm.
you see.
Mhm.
But if you are having doubt and some fears and angst and you quit, now the universe perceives that
Yeah.
You see.
I also think there's, and not with everyone, but I do think that there are a lot of misconceptions about in spirituality what a master is. I think people think they're this perfect, straight laced, never utter a swear word,
Mhm.
never do anything that they shouldn't,
Mhm.
um, are very, just basically the type of person that never has a moment of doing something wrong.
Doesn't
And
sound like someone you want to hang around with, does it?
yes, exactly. It's not someone I want to hear. But that imperfection and the acceptance of it,
Hmm.
being a master, sounds really great to me. And it's like
Yeah.
you always say, go by how you feel. And, when you see something or you see somebody for a moment and you think they're perfect and you think, oh, how would that be to live that way? I could never do this. It doesn't feel good to you.
No.
But when you know that you're capable of it no matter how you are, you can just be yourself. And you say being authentic is really the best way to be. That feels so much better
Yes.
as far as mastery. Yeah.
You will achieve no higher greatness than being the feeler of all feelings.
Hmm.
And any master to claim to have numbed himself to that is no master in our opinion. He has simply
Yes.
trained himself into not feeling,
Yes.
you see. But a real master knows there's value in feeling, and
Yes.
he releases feelings. He has good feelings and he likes them, yes. He has bad feelings. He doesn't like them so much, but he lets them go. He doesn't become them. He doesn't stay stuck in them for months on time because he
Yeah.
knows that he's going to have them all. But he
Yeah.
knows the result that he is going to fulfill in his life is going to be by those that he is choosing to hang
Yes.
on to.
Yeah.
Because in the choice of hanging on to something, now you are moving it to a probability. And now the universe starts to reflect back to you that probability and it starts to show it to you. And as it shows it to you, now you become more convinced, more believing that it is coming, whether it is positive or negative, and that it's very short order. Form is coming, manifestation is coming, you see.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the master knows that I will have all feelings, and he feels and experiences all feelings. And he is relatable to all people because he knows all feelings. He has allowed them in himself, but he is picking and choosing the ones that he is preferring to reflect in his life.
Hmm.
You see,
Yeah.
that's all he's doing.
Yes. Yes.
A master
Well,
is not the not swearer or the not drinker or all of the things that you humans have dictated as what is mastery. Uh, it is quite freeing to know that it is a free being,
right.
but he
Right.
is wise in the choices that he is making of where his focus remains.
Yes. Yes. Well, that I really enjoyed. I learned a lot of things about mastery, and I hope the audience did too. Um, is there any final words, thoughts that you would have for someone that you'd like to?
We just want to say in parting, doesn't it feel good to know that you're enough? Doesn't it feel good that there's no level or height you need to get to? Doesn't it feel good that you can call yourself a master because you are?
Yeah, it feels really good. Yeah,
Good. Again, what happens when something feels good? It's
yeah,
truth.
yeah. Right. Yep. And you can move yourself up the tone scale and start appreciating and having gratitude and attracting and manifesting way better from a happy place than from a sad
Yes.
place.
We would love to hear a few stories, whether it be from you and Robin or any of our listeners, that they tried a little practice with the simple things that we were talking about and
Yes.
surprise themselves of the mastery that they actually have.
Yeah, maybe we could invite the listeners to send us an email if they try this practice and how it works out for them. We'd love to hear.
Yes.
Also, if you have any questions, you can always email them to Heidi at athenaintruth.com. And thank you, Robin. Thank you, Athena. It's been fun having this session with you guys today.
Good day, Heidi.
Good day.